Chapter 2. Party System in India. A political party is a group organized for the purpose of achieving and exercising power within a political system. Morris Duverger. O meaning O types. O one-party dominance O coalition politics O regional parties. In this chapter we shall try to know what is a political party? What are the types of party systems? What are the functions of political parties? We will discuss what is one party dominance? What is coalition politics? What are the regional parties? Political parties. Political parties occupy a very significant position in any form of democracy. It has come to be accepted as a necessary cog in the machinery of democracy. The growth of party system synchronizes with the evolution of democracy. Technically speaking, the modern party system and the party government are the contributions of England to politics. Historically, the origin of the party system is closely connected with the development of English constitution. By the beginning of 20th century, political parties have proliferated in all countries of the world as very important part of their political systems. Meaning, by political party we simply understand the coming together of people having similar views and opinions on matters of common interest, who seek to achieve their end through their own organizations. In other words, political party means the aggregation of like-minded people, sharing almost equal thoughts on different aspects of socio-economic, political and cultural issues and decide to work together for the achievement of their objects. However, Edmund Burke defined political party as a body of men united for promoting by their joint endeavors the national interest upon some political principles in which they are agreed. According to Gilchrist, the noted political scientist, a political party is an organized group of citizens who profess to share the some political views and who by acting as a political unit try to control the government. The chief aim of a party is to make its own opinions and policies prevail. However, the modern scholar Morris Duverger defines a political party as a group organized for the purpose of achieving and exercising power within a political system. Features. An analysis of these definitions lays down the following features of political parties. A. There exists a great deal of agreement among the members of a political party on the fundamental issues of the state. B. Political parties have some degree of organization, discipline and permanence. C. They seek to achieve their objectives through constitutional means. D. The political parties aim at safeguarding and promoting national interest. A. The primary aim of every political party is to attain political power as a means to achieve their objectives. F. The top leadership of the party remains responsible for formulating and furthering policy decisions. The common members of the party have hardly any scope to dabble in this sphere. Functions of political parties. Political parties are indispensable for the working of modern democratic governments. Democracies cannot function without the existence of political parties. In fact, in the absence of organized political parties, one just cannot think of the working of representative government. In the light of the analysis of the functions of political parties by Merriam and Monroe, they may be discussed as follows. A. Necessary for parliamentary government. A parliament consists of the representatives of the people. The political parties organize these representatives on party lines. The electorate choose their representatives on the basis of their party affiliation. The party which gets the majority of votes forms the government and runs the state, and the other parties in the legislature constitute the opposition and try to find fault with the government, thus making it more responsible. In the absence of political parties, the elected representatives may work at cross purposes, just making the formation of a government or opposition an impossibility. B. Parties formulate public policies. Each political party fights the election to achieve its objectives incorporated in their political manifesto. Soon after the election, the majority party forming the government seeks to formulate its policies of administration on the basis of promises made in the election manifesto. Besides, each party has its own ideology. It is assured that the majority party gets the mandate of the electorate to implement its own political program. C. Parties educate public opinion. Parties in any system of government educate, formulate and organize public opinion. They also help in the growth of the level of political consciousness of common citizens, who otherwise have no time to pursue and study issues of the state. The political parties, in their effort to come closer to the people, they organize public rallies, meetings, press conferences on important issues and make their views clear. This provides the common people with an opportunity to analyze the pros and cons of various important issues. This process leads to organize and formulate public opinion on important issues. The common people who otherwise have no time to devote to politics immensely benefit by these meetings etc. and understand different aspects of the basic issues involved in administration. D. Parties provide political stability. The political parties in more than one way unite, simplify and stabilize the political process of the country. The destabilizing forces of localism, sectional interests and geographical situations are tackled by political parties by making these part of their party ideology, thus pacifying the disintegrating forces and inducing cohesion. The political parties mainly perform the functions of aggregation of interests. Besides, the political parties in a representative democracy play a great role in maintaining the stability by performing their roles in the legislature. The majority party forms the government and the other small parties in the opposition. The party in power has to conduct itself very responsibly, because any unwise move on their part would throw it off the power and help the opposition parties to take over the reins of administration. Opposition not merely criticizes the government, it also provides an alternative program and alternative government in the eventuality of any crisis in the government. As such, it contributes to the stability of the government. A. It helps in the recruitment of leaders. The essential function of any party is to recruit men of integrity, letters, action, leadership to its fold as members and prepare them for election in future. Because it is these members of party who propagate the party ideologies, discuss the burning issues and hold meetings and press conferences to mobilize public support. It is these leaders again who contest in the election and form government if elected to power. Such leaders being drawn from public life are expected to understand expectations of the common people and formulate public policies accordingly. Parties always get popularity and recognition through their leaders only. These are some of the functions of political parties which make them significant in modern democracy. The parties behave responsibly in states where the people in general are well educated and politically conscious. This is evident from the working of political parties in Western countries, where the political culture is easily discernible than the non-European countries. The party system. The political parties function within party system. The party system is a modern phenomenon. It is especially significant in parliamentary democracies. In such states, it creates conditions for the executive and the legislature to work in conjecture. The legislature provides the executive. The majority party, members, in the legislature forms the government. During a national crisis, like-minded parties may come together to form an alliance to form a ministry. For example, this happened in England during the Second World War with Mr. Churchill as Prime Minister. The issues before the government in the modern state are so varied and complicated that without the guidance of the party system, the common man finds himself completely confused and misguided. In any form of government in democracy, the party system helps to express the opinion of the electorate adequately. Some of the modern writers are very much against the party system on the ground that it leads to bribery, corruption, and indifference to popular interest. These charges against the party system are no doubt true to a great extent, but a suitable alternative to do away with such system is yet to be found. Classification of party systems. The party systems have been classified on different standards or norms. However, there is no single criterion on the basis of which a party can be categorized. One has to take various aspects of classification into consideration to understand the organization of party system in any country. For example, the number of political parties actively functioning in a state, the organization and characteristic of the party, the ideological basis of the party, the area of influence, etc. One party system. On the basis of number of parties actively functioning in a state, there may be one party, two-party or multi-party system. Normally we come across three distinct forms of single or one-party system. One of them is ideological. In some countries, a single party is allowed to operate by law. This form of party system is popular in Nazi, fascist and communist countries. The philosophy of the first two types of state being one nation, one state, one party and one leader. The erstwhile communist state of USSR And presently China and other communist states have established single-party system. Although in some communist states a few minor political parties are allowed to exist, they have in fact very little role to play. In such a system, the party controls and directs the government and remains the ultimate force of authority. Authoritarian one-party system. There is another form known as authoritarian one-party system. In this system, there is a major political party which restricts the functioning of other parties. Of course, this party allows the citizens of the state to express their resentment against the government and place their demands through these parties, but do not allow them to contest in the election. Many persons may contest in the election from that single party only. Such systems are prevalent in Iran, Syria, Egypt, Ghana, and many other Afro-Asian countries. Sometimes in some countries a single political party dominates the political scene in spite of the pressure of many other political parties without any legal restrictions or checks imposed on them. This form is called dominant one-party system. In essence, this system is a combination of multi-party system and a single-party dominance. This cannot be strictly called a multi-party system nor a single-party system. This may also constitute a temporary phase in a multi-party system and has all the possibility of becoming a two-party system or a multi-party system. For example, Indian National Congress Party dominated the political scene from 1947 to 1977, till the fourth general election, even though there were many other political parties existing at the same time in India. In spite of the existence of so many parties, it seemed as if there is only Congress Party capable of delivering the goods. However, after the fourth general election, things changed rapidly, and in recent elections it is more than one small parties who have joined hands with Bharatiya Janata Party, Congress Party, to run the government at the center or in states. Two-party system. The two-party system is one in which there are only two major parties controlling and dominating the political scenes. There may be other political parties, but hardly they are given any importance. Their influence among the voters is negligible. Instead, the two major parties hold the reign of the power by participating in electoral politics. Political power alternates between these two major parties. England, Canada, and USA are good examples of two-party system. In England, the two major parties are the Conservative Party and the Labour Party. In Canada, they are Liberal Party and Progressive Conservative Party, whereas in USA, they are known as the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. In this system, the choice of the electorate is simplified due to presence of only two political parties. The choice of the ruling party and the opposition is made clear. In Britain, they are officially designated as Her Majesty's Government and Her Majesty's Opposition. The system contributes to political stability and continuity, without any confusion or crisis as in multi-party system. There are certain negative aspects of the two-party system also. It divides the public opinion into two rigid and narrow sections. The people who do not contribute to the thinking of the two political parties cease to count in public life. It does not correctly reflect the opinions and aspirations of the people. Multi-party system. In a multi-party system, there are more than two political parties. Some parties may be too big and some others may be small, but most of them are not in a position to dominate the political scene and secure the majority required to form the government. Very often it creates a situation of coalitional government between two or more parties. There are many countries in Western Europe and Eastern Asia where multi-party system prevails. In France there are about 13 parties, in Germany about 7, Italy 8, Switzerland about 8, Denmark about 10, Netherlands about 14 political parties we come across. During the last 4 decades, India has seen such proliferation of political parties as no other democratic country in the world has witnessed. Since independence, although about 100 parties have come into existence, only about a dozen of them deserve any attention. The expression of wide range of public opinion is possible in a multi-party system. Logically, we may call it a more democratic and open system as it absorbs varieties of viewpoints and allows interaction of these views and interests. In such a system, the voters have wider choice to choose from among so many parties. In the system, the dictatorship of the cabinet is not possible. If the government is a coalitional one, as one partner of the alliance group tries to checkmate the other in its bid to capture more power and prominence. However, the advantages stated above are more theoretical than practical. One of the essential drawbacks of the system is that it creates political instability. In the presence of so many parties, it becomes difficult on the part of any political party to secure the majority support to form the government. Under the system, alliance or coalition government becomes regular feature. It therefore becomes obvious that there can be no uniformity in the policy, laws and actions of the government, which is composed of heterogeneous groups. The lack of direction in the policy leads to maladministration that leads to chaos and confusion. Besides, a coalition government cannot take bold initiatives or pursue a policy vigorously for fear of decision and dissent within the government and in the legislature. The governments in a multi-party system are short-lived and lack in continuity and stability because of pressures and counter-pressures of the coalition partners. However, examples of successful working of multi-party system providing viable and stable governance can be seen in Germany, Sweden, Denmark and Switzerland. The political culture and tradition of any country, more than the system, is responsible for stable governance. Opposition. The study of party system remains incomplete without any reference to opposition. The role of opposition. The role of opposition in party system is very significant. So far we know that political parties securing the majority support of the electorate form the government and provide the administration. In a two-party system, one of the parties form the government, and in a multi-party, either one party or some parties together in the legislature form a coalition to take over the reins of administration. The other parties who do not form the government play a significant role of the opposition, essential to provide the taste of democracy. The role of opposition is to keep the ruling party or parties under check and control. The device of opposition as a democratic tool is not modern. The practice dates back to the ancient days of city-states. An institution called tribune played the role of opposition in Rome. The church and the parliament played the role of opposition to limit the authorities of feudal monarchies and autocracies during the medieval period. The concept of organized opposition as an effective tool in democracy originated in England. John Hobhouse coined the term, His Majesty's Loyal Opposition, to describe the opposition parties. Gradually, with the growth of parliamentary democracy in England, the institution of opposition was legitimized and subsequently accepted by other European states. The opposition in a multi-party democratic system is different from that of a two-party system. Here the opposition is composed of the non-ruling parties, opposed to each other on important political issues and policies. Usually they are never in a position to provide an alternative government in case it is required. The presence of opposition is an essential feature of democratic system. In the opinion of Sir Ivor Jennings, if there is no opposition, there is no democracy. An elected government is as much a part of the parliamentary democracy as an elected opposition. If the government represents the legitimate consent to rule, the opposition represents the legitimate dissent of the electorate. A good opposition exercises enough pressure on the government, without which the administration tends to be irresponsible. It points out the failures and shortcomings of the government. An organized opposition, by showing the lapses of the government, constantly keeps it on its toes. They are a necessary corrective to any government. However, the opposition always does not behave in the way it is expected to. It is seen that most of the time, instead of making the government responsible, the opposition leaders themselves become irresponsible. They oppose the government for the sake of opposition without offering any constructive suggestion or pointing out genuine lapses on the part of the executive. This situation destroys the very foundation of democracy. For the smooth working of parliamentary democracy, a responsible government is as much required as a responsible opposition. The opposition must allow the government to behave responsibly. It should not state and obstruct the proceedings of the legislature. The opposition and the ruling party should work out a framework of mutual understanding of role, as democracy is a system of government by discussion, persuasion and consensus. If either of them takes to extra-constitutional methods to beat the other, the purpose of democracy is defeated. Points to remember. By political party we mean an organized group of citizens who profess to share the same political views and who, by acting as a political unit, try to control the government. Its characteristic features are: A. Common political views among members; B. Organization of national interest; C. Adoption of constitutional methods; D. Promotion of national interest; A. Attainment of political power; F. Decision-making lies with the top leadership. Its functions are manifold. A. It works as a tool of democracy. B. Formulates public policies. C. Educates public opinion. D. Provides political stability. A. Helps recruit the leaders. Party system makes the democracy work through political parties. Parties are classified as one-party system, two-party system and multi-party system. A country where one political party functions as one-party system. Where there are two major parties are called two-party system. Countries where there are more than two major political parties are called multi-party system. Opposition constitutes a very significant function in a democracy. Some parties run the government and are known as ruling party, and those others in the legislature who do not join the government constitute the opposition. The opposition represents the legitimate dissent of the electorate. By pointing out the lapses and failures of the government, it makes it responsible. It also always remain in readiness to accept the reins of government if such situation arises. Party system in India. Party system is a part of the larger political system. This system in any country is a product of its political environment as well as its history, culture and traditions. The character of our country, its national goals, its diverse culture, its wide geographic spread and compulsions of its socio-economic change and development, all these and much more have influenced the growth of party system in India. Historical context. The party system in India began towards the last part of 19th century. The British domination of India virtually forced the Indian nationals to unite together not only to wipe out the foreign rule but also to prepare a blueprint for independent democratic India. The party system in India began with the formation of Indian National Congress in 1885. The other parties were born gradually thereafter. Till 1947, the party system in India was greatly conditioned by the British policy of divide and rule, which led to the formation of communal parties like the Muslim League, the Hindu Mahasabha, and Akali Dal. The emergence of such parties virtually fragmented the society by dividing the people on caste and community lines and putting an end to the development of secular outlook in India. Naturally, therefore, by the time India became independent, the party system was in complete disarray. However, on the adoption of a secular democratic constitution, a different party system developed. The type of parties. The first 20 years of Indian independence from 1947-1967 there was continuous domination of the Congress party both at the center and in the states. However, since 1967 only a multi-party system has started emerging, although a number of parties existed much before that. There are three types of parties seen in India on the basis of geographical spread. They are all India parties, regional parties and local parties. On the basis of orientation, however, they may be termed as leftist, rightist, centrist parties. The communist and socialist parties are termed leftist parties, whereas communal or religious parties or parties based on caste are termed as rightist parties. Nature and characteristics of party system in India. Multi-party system. A large number of political parties today dominate the political scene in India. Although by and large there is a bewildering variety of political parties in India, they have not shown the stability of the other democracies like Britain or USA. Usually political parties are formed on the basis of definite social interests or political ideologies. But because of so many factors they fail to maintain the tempo for which they are created. As a result of this, they just fail to flourish and lie as dormant organization or liquidate itself. Proliferation of regional parties. No sovereign territory has such a wide range of socio-cultural and ethnic diversities as in India. These diversities naturally therefore are expressed in the formation of regional parties in order to bargain with the center for a better deal. It is seen from experience the national parties have failed to give due weightage to their state and local units and have not taken them seriously. This attitude of the central leadership over the years has created bitterness and resentment in the rank and file of the parties. Under the situation, the local leaders of the party had no hesitation to quit the main party and formed regional parties to attract the people of the state. Bangla Congress, Kerala Congress and the Biju Janata Dal are examples of such parties. Besides this, the tribal and backward classes also formed their own parties to maintain their identity. The Mizoram National Front, MNF, the All-Party Hill Leaders Conference, APHLC, the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha are examples of such parties. The ethnic and linguistic groups have also come out with their own parties in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, Assam, and Jammu and Kashmir to play a critical role as a balancing factor between the ruling party and the major opposition parties in the parliament and grab power in the state legislatures too. All these factors have led to the growth of large number of regional parties in the political scenario of India. Lack of proper organization. The party system in India is marked by lack of proper organizational elections and democratic functioning. Hardly the parties have evolved reliable mechanism and workable procedures for managing its affairs. The top leadership dominates the working of the parties and avoids internal election to choose party managers. Virtually all of them are named by the top leadership. This practice, while strengthening the influence of the party chief, weakens the party organization as a whole and affects the growth of internal democracy and leadership. Leaders more important than ideology. The political parties in India are organized around individual leaders. They owe their existence to the charisma of its leaders than the ideology of the party. There is hardly any ideological difference among the political parties in India, except of course a very few parties. The ability to influence voters and capacity to find the organization enables a leader to form a party with his own followers, who almost blindly extend their support to their mentor. This has been the case with most of the political parties. Frequent political defections, leaving one's own party and joining another party for specific interest, is called political defection. This defection has affected the working of party system in India very badly. Since 1967, the fourth general elections, greed for power, lust for prominence have so much affected the top leaders in India that they have no hesitation to leave their parties for the sake of those. Sometimes parties falling short of majority allure members from other parties to join their party with assurance to include them in the council of ministers or give them other prominent positions in the government. Defections have very badly affected the political stability of the country. Lack of inner democracy in party organizations. A common feature of party system in India that we come across is that there is no regular organizational elections and democratic functioning within the parties. No party has evolved reliable mechanism and workable procedures for managing its affairs. The top leadership dominates the working of parties and avoids organizational elections to choose different office bearers. Virtually all of them are nominated by the top leadership known as High Command. This practice, while strengthening the influence of the High Command, weakens the party organization as a whole, affecting the growth of internal democracy and leadership. Absence of strong opposition. Lack of strong opposition is another important characteristic of party system in India. A healthy and well-organized opposition sustains a party system in any democracy. Unfortunately, for so many reasons, although there are a large number of political parties in Indian political scenario, there is hardly any opposition worth the name. This has led the critics to comment that there is no effective party system in India in spite of the presence of so many political parties. However, it may be said in conclusion that parties play an important role to make the democracy a success. They provide alternative teams to run the government. They prevent the same people remaining in power too long. A party system guarantees the people that change in government can be effected if they wish. The party system always reminds those in power that they owe their existence to the support of the electorate. Therefore, they must work for the welfare of the society at large. One-party dominance. The party system in India, particularly in the first 2 decades after independence, is rightly termed as one-party dominant system, as the National Congress held sway over the central as well as state governments. The Congress inherited the legacy of the freedom struggle, and with charismatic leaders like Nehru and others, it was expected to win in the first general elections held in 1952. The party won 365 parliamentary seats out of 489 in the first Lok Sabha. The Communist Party of India came second with only 16 seats. Thus, Congress established its hegemony in the Indian party system from the first general elections. The Congress also had its victory in the elections to the state assemblies as well. It won all the states except 3, Travancore, Kochi, now Kerala, Madras and Orissa. But it also formed governments there. In the second and third general elections held in 1957 and 1962 respectively, the Congress maintained its dominance by winning 3/4 of the total seats. The opposition parties could not get 1/10 of the seats won by the Congress. Many political parties were in the fray, but the central space was occupied by the Congress from 1952 to 1967, for which the system is characterized as one-party dominant party system. There was competition from other political parties, but there was no meaningful challenge to the dominance of Congress. As the opposition was weak, they were unable to provide an alternative to the Congress. However, they were engaged in criticizing and pressurizing the ruling Congress. Steamrolling majority of Congress during Nehru era. The major reason behind the dominance of Congress in the Indian party system was its capacity to accommodate different and even conflicting interests and groups within it. It functioned as an umbrella party which enabled it to garner the support of divergent social groups. This accommodative approach of the Congress continued from pre-independent times. It functioned as a broad coalition than strictly as a monolithic party. The dominance of the Congress during this period was at three levels: at the power level by monopolizing power, at the level of controlling the space of relationship between the state and the society, and at the ideological level by advocating the centrist ideology in politics. In the 1960s, there was substantial change in the nature of the Indian party system, particularly after 1967. The changes became prominent. There are many non-Congress governments at the state level. Coalition governments were formed in many states with non-Congress parties. Fourth general election initiated the process of coalition politics in India. The Congress became weak at the center also because of dissidence and factionalism within it. It led to the split in Congress in 1969. The model of consensus on the basis of which Congress was functioning became weak, with far-reaching consequences for the party systems in India. There are also other socio-economic reasons behind these changes. The new classes that emerged in post-independent India in these years asserted themselves and wanted to have their share in political power. Coalition politics. Coalition simply means an act of coalescing, or uniting into one body. It has been derived from the Latin word coalitio, which means to grow together. In political terms, it implies an alliance or temporary union of political forces for forming government. Different political parties, even with conflicting interests and ideology, come together in a coalition out of a common fear or out of the necessity that their goals cannot be achieved if they remain separate. Coalition can be of three types. Do you remember our common minimum program? Parliamentary, electoral, and governmental. If no party has majority in the parliament to form government, then a party can form the government with the support of others in the parliament. Electoral coalitions are arrangements among parties to have electoral adjustments among themselves and deciding not to field candidates against each other. Coalition at the governmental level can have different forms. The national government in emergencies with the participation of major political parties is one kind coalition at the government level. Another type is the power sharing by more than one party joining the coalition. UPA led by Congress and NDA led by BJP are examples of this type of coalition. The coalition politics in India started after the 1967 elections. Non-Congress opposition parties defeated Congress in 6 states by forming coalitions. But Congress returned back to power in 1971. But the next phase of coalition politics began with the defeat of Congress in 1977. The emergency declared by the Congress led to its defeat and to the unity of the opposition parties. Janata Party was formed and a coalition government came at the center under Morarji Desai. But this government could not last its full term. Another experiment of coalition under Charan Singh also could not survive because of its inner contradictions and ideological differences. The weaknesses of experiments of coalition during this period again gave opportunity to Congress to come back to power in 1980. However, its support base declined, which laid the foundation for future coalition politics in India. Coalition governments were not there at the center from 1980 to 1989, though there were such governments in some states like Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Tripura, and Jammu and Kashmir. Before 1989 general elections, Janata Dal was formed and entered into alliances with some regional parties, left parties, and BJP. A coalition was formed in the name of National Front in October 1988 and it formed the coalition government at the center in 1989 under VP Singh. Both BJP and left parties supported this government from outside. This coalition was different from the experiments in 1977 except the commonality of the anti-Congress platform. The issues were different in both the coalitions. In 1977, in the background of emergency, the issues of restoration of democracy, protection of civil liberty etc. brought different parties together to form the coalition. But in 1989 both national and regional issues were taken up by the National Front like corruption etc. Though this coalition government was an improvement over earlier experiments, still it suffered from internal and external crises. There were differences over implementation of Mandal Commission recommendations and over the Ratha Yatra of BJP for Ram Temple in Ayodhya. The VP Singh-led coalition government fell after the withdrawal of support from BJP. Again there was a split in the Janata Dal led to the formation of Janata Dal S, and this new formation formed government at the centre under Chandrasekhar with the outside support of Congress. But this government could not survive as Congress withdrew its support in 1991. In the general elections in 1991 Congress could not win a clear majority but managed to form the government under P.V. Narasimha Rao. In 1996 general elections BJP emerged as the single largest party but could not win the confidence motion in the parliament and lost power in 13 days. The United Front government led by H.D. Deve Gowda formed the government and there was a change in the leadership again. I.K. Gujral then led this coalition. This United Front experiment of coalition government could not continue as Congress withdrew support in 1998. In 1999 elections NDA, the coalition led by BJP came to power. This coalition government completed its term and was relatively stable than the earlier ones. It worked on the basis consensus though there are strains and contradictions in it. Regional parties became more prominent in national politics. This is a new era in coalition politics of the country. It established the fact that no single political party can come to power on its own at the stage of Indian politics. Coalition politics and growing importance of regional parties is now the marked feature of Indian party system. The one-party dominant system is already a thing of the past. This pattern continued with the replacement of NDA by UPA 1 and 2 from 2004 to 2014. UPA is a coalition led by Congress. Left parties were with the UPAI. Again regional parties played key role in this coalition. In 2009, in 15th Lok Sabha elections, Congress-led coalition UPA2 came to power. For the first time in more than 2 decades, a government that completed its full term got re-elected. In both the elections in 2004 and in 2009, coalition politics asserted itself as a dominant feature of Indian politics. Before 2014 elections, no national party was in a position to get clear majority on their own to form the government at the center in this period of more than 2 decades. This became the basis of coalition politics in the country. The regional parties were crucial in the coalitions. The 3 coalition governments completed their full term, which led the observers to comment that there is no alternative to coalition politics in India at present. The socio-economic diversity of the country, the growing assertions and democratic consciousness of the marginalized sections of the society, the growth of regional parties etc. are important factors behind the phenomena of coalition politics. In 2014 elections, both the coalitions NDA and UPA fought elections and NDA came to power under the leadership of Narendra Modi. But this time it was different from earlier coalitions as BJP as a party could win majority on its own. But it formed the government with its coalition partners in the NDA. There are questions whether this is the beginning of the end of the coalition era. But it is too early to take a view because the coalition politics is well entrenched in the political process in India with a strong social root. Regional parties. The political parties in India are divided as national and regional parties on the basis of their geographical presence. The Election Commission recognizes a party as national or regional on the basis of fulfillment of either of these conditions. The conditions are 1. If the party secures 3.33% of the votes or seats in elections to the legislative assemblies. 2. If it secures 4% of the votes or seats in Lok Sabha election of 4 states. The national parties have presence in most parts of the country and have a national outlook and focus on issues. They are also called All India parties. Their ideology, program, organization etc. reflect national considerations. Regional parties are confined to a state or some states or region. They are created out of different reasons. The failure of national parties to accommodate regional interest, neglect of one region in terms of development or power sharing, defending or preserving regional and cultural identity of a region are some of the reasons for the creation of regional parties. Political, economic, social and cultural factors are responsible for the birth and growth of regional parties. The prominent role of any of these factors depends on the particular political situation. India is a diverse country with many languages, religions, ethnic communities. The national political parties face difficulties in accommodating the aspirations of all, which create a sense of deprivation among many in reality or in perception. Again, some parts of the country are highly developed and others are underdeveloped. This uneven development creates the basis for regionalism and regional political parties. The dominance of a particular group of elites in terms of region, caste etc. also creates anger and frustration among others, which is reflected in the regionalization of politics. The centralizing tendencies of the Indian Federation marginalizes the states and becomes the logic of regional parties. The major regional parties in the country are Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, DMK, All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, AIDMK, Shiromani Akali Dal, National Conference, Telugu Desam Party, TDP, Biju Janata Dal, BJD, Assam Gana Parishad, AGP, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, JMM, Shiv Sena, Trinamool Congress, TMC, Telangana Rashtriya Samiti, TRS, etc. The regional parties vary in their social base, ideology and programs. The historical contexts in which these parties exist and function, the socio-cultural and economic factors and the political situation influence their political objective and strategy. But they always try to satisfy their core base. Biju Janata Dal in Orissa was formed in December 26, 1997 after the death of legendary leader, freedom fighter and ex-chief minister of Orissa Biju Pattanaik. The party is demanding for special category status for the state and fighting for the interests of the state. It has been in power since last 4 terms under the leadership of Shri Naveen Patnaik. ODI identity, inclusive development of the state, more grants from the center, special category status for the state, more rights for the states in the federal setup, secularism, women empowerment are parts of its core political ideology. It declares to carry the legacy of the great leader Biju Pattanaik and other historical figures of Orissa like Gopabandhu Das, Madhusudan Das, Parbati Giri, Ma Rama Devi, Malati Chaudhary and many others. The politics of coalition in last 3 decades in the country have brought regional parties into the center stage of Indian politics. In the process, both the national parties and regional parties have compromised their positions to find consensus to form governments. The regional parties have increased their bargaining strength. The growth in the size of the middle class and the growth of the political consciousness among the masses, particularly among the excluded groups, have put pressure on the political parties to address their concerns. The growing economic inequality created out of neoliberal globalization is also affecting the political parties. Political parties have the responsibility of addressing the concerns of the masses, particularly of the marginalized, and of articulating their voices. Otherwise, they will not be able to get the support of the people in a sustained manner. Good governance, inclusive development, accountability are some of the challenges before the political parties today. The more the democratic participation and democratic conscience of the people, the more democratic will be the parties. Democracies that follow a federal system all over the world tend to have 2 kinds of political parties, parties that are present in only one of the federal units and parties that are present in several or all units of the federation. This is the case in India as well. There are some countrywide parties, which are called national parties. These parties have their units in various states. But by and large, all these units follow the same policies, programs, and strategy that is decided at the national level. Every party in the country has to register with the Election Commission. While the Commission treats all parties equally, it offers some special facilities to large and established parties. These parties are given a unique symbol, only the official candidates of that party can use that election symbol. Parties that get this privilege and some other special facilities are recognized by the Election Commission for this purpose. That is why these parties are called recognized political parties. The Election Commission has laid down detailed criteria of the proportion of votes and seats that a party must get in order to be a recognized party. A party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in an election to the Legislative Assembly of a state and wins at least 2 seats is recognized as a state party. A party that secures at least 6% of total votes in Lok Sabha elections or assembly elections in 4 states and wins at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha is recognized as a national party. According to this classification, there were 6 national recognized parties in the country in 2006. Let us learn something about each of these parties. Indian National Congress, Inc., popularly known as the Congress Party, it is one of the oldest parties of the world. Founded in 1885 and has experienced many splits. It played a dominant role in Indian politics at the national and state level for several decades after India's independence. Under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru, the party sought to build a modern secular democratic republic in India. Ruling party at the center till 1977 and then from 1980 to 1989. After 1989, its support declined, but it continues to be present throughout the country, cutting across social divisions. A centrist party, neither rightist nor leftist, in its ideological orientation, the party espouses secularism and welfare of weaker sections and minorities. It supports new economic reforms but with a human face, emerged as the largest party with 145 members in the Lok Sabha elections held in 2004. Currently it is in opposition. Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, founded in 1980 by reviving the erstwhile Bharatiya Jana Sangh. It wants to build a strong and modern India by drawing inspiration from India's ancient culture and values. Cultural nationalism, or Hindutva, is an important element in its conception of Indian nationhood and politics. Wants full territorial and political integration of Jammu and Kashmir with India, a uniform civil code for all people living in the country irrespective of religion, and ban on religious conversions. Its support base increased substantially in the 1990s. Earlier limited to north and west and to urban areas, the party expanded its support in the south, east, the northeast and to rural areas. It came to power in 1998 as the leader of the National Democratic Alliance including several state and regional parties. Lost elections in 2004 and was the principal opposition party in the Lok Sabha. Presently, it is the ruling party at the center as the leader of the National Democratic Alliance. Bahujan Samaj Party, BSP, formed in 1984 under the leadership of Kanshi Ram, seeks to represent and secure power for the Bahujan Samaj, which includes the Dalits, Adivasis, OBCs and religious minorities. It draws inspiration from the ideas and teachings of Sahu Maharaj, Mahatma Phule, Periyar Ramaswamy Nikkar and Babasaheb Ambedkar. It stands for the cause of securing the interests and welfare of the Dalits and oppressed people. It has its main base in the state of Uttar Pradesh and substantial presence in neighboring states like Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, Delhi and Punjab. It formed government in Uttar Pradesh several times by taking the support of different parties at different times. In the Lok Sabha elections held in 2004, it polled about 5% votes and secured 19 seats in the Lok Sabha. Communist Party of India Marxist, CPIM, founded in 1964. It believes in Marxism-Leninism, supports socialism, secularism and democracy and opposes imperialism and communalism, accepts democratic elections as a useful and helpful means for securing the objective of socio-economic justice in India. Enjoys strong support in West Bengal, Kerala and Tripura, especially among the poor. Points to remember. The party system in India is a product of its socio-political cultural background. The nature of party system in India are: L. It is a multi-party system. L. There has been frequent growth of regional parties. L. These parties are not properly organized. L. Ideology gets a lip service only. L. There are frequent political defections. L. Parties are not democratically managed. What is more important is that there is no organized, effective, and strong opposition to check the party in power. Blank. Model questions. Section A. Multiple choice questions. 1. Most visible function of political parties is A. Contesting elections, B. Formulation of public opinion, C. Social reforms, D. Policy making. 2. Which of the following is not a national party? A. Congress, B. BJP, C. BJD, D. CPI, M. 3. Which party is in power in West Bengal? A. CPI, B. CPI, M. C. Trinamool Congress, D. BJP. 4. Who is the party president of BJP? A. Gadkari, B. Amit Shah, C. L. K. Advani, D. Sushma Swaraj. 5. During general elections, the political parties issue A. Populist appeals, B. Slogans, C. Advertisements, D. Election manifestos. Section B. Write briefly. 1. What is a political party? 2. What is single party system? 3. What is bi-party system? 4. What is multi-party system? 5. Discuss the nature of party system. 6. What is a national party? 7. What is a regional party? 8. Name some countries having bi-party system. 9. What is coalition politics? 10. Name the national level political parties in India. 11. Name some of the popular regional political parties in India. 12. Write a note on the Indian National Congress. 13. Examine the ideology of Bharatiya Janata Party. Section C. Long essay type. 1. Define political party. Discuss the main function of political parties. 2. Examine the role of political parties in a democracy. 3. Discuss the merits and demerits of the party system. 4. Examine the role of opposition party in a democracy. 5. Discuss the nature and general characters of the party system in India. 6. Did the prevalence of a one-party dominant system affect adversely the democratic nature of Indian politics? Section D. Miscellaneous. 1. Match the following leaders listed in List A with the parties in List B. A. B. A. Sitaram Yechuri, I. Telugu Desam, B. Amit Shah, E. Samajwadi Party, C. Chandrababu Naidu, E. Bharatiya Janata Party, D. Akhilesh Yadav, I.V. Communist Party of India, Marxist. 2. 4 statements regarding one-party dominance are given below. Mark each of them as true or false. A. One-party dominance is rooted in the absence of strong alternative political parties. B. One-party dominance occurs because of weak public opinion. C. One-party dominance is linked to the nation's colonial past. D. One-party dominance reflects the absence of democratic ideals in a country.